Hey guys, it's me again. I want to talk about Excel 5. I've got it, I'm going to pull it up here. Just 1 second, sorry. Um, this is a Excel assignment where you're trying to do some absolute relative change, and I really want to focus on adding in the autofill feature, which is pretty awesome. Okay, let me share my screen. Share. Okay, up. Okay, a couple things to point out here. And let me zoom in so that you're not getting your binoculars out. Okay. So I did some research to get the median household incomes. I could not find the 2010 Lake County median household income. If you look at line 17, that is an extra credit assignment. So you can't do these two boxes unless you go and find that number. If you don't find the number, you can just delete the row, or you can just leave it blank. Okay, so let's talk about doing absolute change and relative change. Now you've got examples here that involve time. That's these ones at the top, and then you have one that doesn't involve time. I want to practice both. Now let's zoom in here. Let's make something up. Ben's house and Doug's house, and this is 2012 and this is 2015. This is 35 and this is 47. And this is 78, and this is 99. Let's just add one to the Rob's house. I should put in an apostrophe so I don't look like an illiterate math teacher. Okay. 54, then 47. So if I want to find the absolute change from 2012 to 2015, then what I do is just subtract, and I'm going to do new minus old. And of course, new minus old means that I got to figure out which one of these is new and old. But given that there's time involved, it should be easy for me to identify what the older one is actually the newer one. Sorry, the older one is the older one. This 2015 value is the new value, and 2012 is the old one. Okay? Now, instead of doing that same formula again, I'm going to use the autofill. So I click on this cell, I move my cursor to the bottom right corner of the cell. See how the cursor changes? Here, white cross, here, black cross. So left click, and I'm going to drag down, and then I let go, and it does it for me. So let's look at these formulas. You can see them here. So keep your eye trained up here. So this one is C2 minus B2. This one is C3 minus B3. Again, looking up here. And then this one is C4 minus B4. That's a feature of Excel called autofill, which is pretty cool. So I can do these calculations really relatively quickly. Now let's look at relative change from 2012 to 2015. So I know relative change can be done a couple different ways. Let's focus on the fact that probably the best way to do it is to build off what I've already done. I found the absolute change, which is new minus old, and all I need to do is divide it by the old value, which is what happened in 2012. There's the relative change. It's a decimal. I can turn it into a percentage if I want by clicking on the percentage sign. Didn't do anything because I wasn't selecting the right box. There's the percent. Okay, I can use autofill again. Boom. Things are looking good. Now let me show you something just so you can get a sense of some of the other mathematical things that are going on here. If I wanted to do new minus old divided by old, I can. I can take new, and I can subtract old, and I can divide it by old. Now, that answer, 46,000, should not make sense to you. You should say to yourself, there's a problem there. There is a problem there. What is the problem? Here's my formula. I'm doing new minus old, and I'm dividing by old. But remember that Excel is a program, and so it's programmed to respond to mathematical statements and think about them in terms of order of operation. Division is more important than subtraction, and so it does the division first. But B2 divided by B2 is just the number 1. So you see I get the same answer if I just do this. And obviously, this is not what I'm trying to do. So how do I fix it? I would have to use parentheses. I have to say, hey, do the subtraction first, then divide. And I didn't get my division in there. Boom, 34%, which is what it started out at. Now that's a reminder that if you're trying to do stuff with Excel or your calculator, you have to be clear in how you're communicating with it. And that's another way that you can screw things up by not thinking about how you're communicating. Okay, let's do my autofill again. Boom. Okay, now let's say that I want you to compare Ben's house to Doug's house in 2015, and we want to use Ben's house as a reference. Okay? So that means that the old going to the new, this is my sort of scaffolding, my visualized scaffolding for that. If Ben's the reference, I'm going from Ben's house, and I'm going to, shoot, and I'm going to Doug's house. Now I can put in numbers. Ben's house in 2015 is 47, and I'm going to 99. Okay, so now I'm ready to do my calculation. Absolute change is new minus old, and I can verify that that indeed should be an increase, so it should be a positive number. That's good. And I can look at the absolute change divided by where I started, and I can get my relative change. And again, I'll probably report that as a percentage. I can't stress enough how useful it is and important in terms of thinking about what it actually means to look at the change and say, yes, that's positive because it increased, but yes, that's negative because it decreased. Right? In each of these examples, increase, increase, positive, 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 positive. All the change is positive. In the one example that's negative, sorry, the one example that goes down, -7, -13%. I just want you to get full credit on it. So it's easy to get those backwards. So keep thinking about whether it increased or decreased. The summary question, pretty straightforward. I don't want to make it complicated for every assignment. Here, just which county is the best to live in. This is median household income. Remember, median is an average, right? So this is like the average house. The average house in Indiana in 2010 was earning about $48,000. The average house in 2017 was earning $54,000. What I want you to do is go look at these counties and say, which of the counties do you think you'd like to live in? Based only on median income. That's all the numbers that you have. But I wanted to emphasize here something I said in class, which is to be sure to quantify your answer. So you're saying, I would like to live in blah county, and I chose that county because blah, and somewhere in that blah, you need to have a number. That's it. Okay, submit that. If you miss class, just make sure you submit it by the due date, and see you later.